All right, I've got Steve Blaby back with us today. How are you, Steve?
Hi, Drew. How you going?
Good to have you back, mate. I wanted to chew your ear again. We've had some good chats in the past. I wanted to talk today about trade services businesses. So I guess we're talking everything trade, from electrical to plumbing to whatever you need somebody to come over and fix something on your house. You've had a fair bit of expertise and experience in that area. Did you want to talk to us a little in general, I guess, just about the sale of trade services businesses?
Yeah, well, there's some great trade businesses out there, and there's a good demand for good quality trade services businesses. And what do I mean by that? I guess it means having quite a team, a reasonable sized team of people, whatever it is that whatever service you're providing. Maybe an operations manager in place would be good, but they are quite desirable, especially if they're doing things that are predictable and ongoing, like maintenance and that type of thing.
Yeah, okay. Any particular sector is more desirable than others? Is electrical more desirable than plumbing, or I don't know, is cabinet making more desirable than anything else? Anything that you found spiking?
I think electrical and air conditioning are fairly attractive. Plumbing can be quite profitable. Again, you've got to make sure that if it's priced correctly, they're actually reasonably easy to sell, because it can be somebody expanding geographically, or coming from interstate or whatever. So and there's also the chance that you could be acquired by somebody who is a national, maybe a listed company or a larger company that's basically looking to expand their maintenance businesses in different regions. So so there's quite a bit of demand for trade services.
Well, let's talk about that. If we had an electrical business, say I had one and I hold the license, I guess then I can either sell it to somebody incoming with a license, or perhaps another electrical group who already holds a license, or even preferable to that, if I could set up my management team to hold the license in the company, or a senior manager. Is that doable? Is that the best way to go?
I think that's worth going through that process, because if you want to expand the number of people who could buy your business, then you really need to overcome that problem. So in other words, if you're an electrical business, you can only sell to an electrician unless you've solved that problem for someone who's not an electrician, by perhaps incentivizing an operations manager to use their license for that. So it is good to have that problem resolved before we go to market, ideally.
Same thing, getting back to a lot of businesses, like customer base, I guess, is important. You don't want to have a business where perhaps you're contracting to one large group, a lot of your services. You'd like to have a nice diversified mixture of customers if possible, I imagine.
Yeah, that's right. So for example, in plumbing and electrical, some businesses do provide a lot of services to building companies. That's not as attractive, because the building industry is sort of fluctuates. So it's more desirable where you're supplying a wider range of customers on a more regular basis, more predictable cash flows.
Okay, well, it's given us a great overview. But I guess one last question I wanted to touch on quickly is, if you had a trade services business, do the buyers look at like where the work comes from, if it's repeat business, or whether you've got some sort of dynamic website or advertising platform that brings it in? Is that important? Like your relationships, like how those customers are held, is that important?
Yeah, so I guess the key things are the concentration you've got with any one particular customer. So hopefully, you're not exposed any more than 20% to one particular customer would be a bit of a rule. And then in addition to that, they're going to be looking at historical trade to see if you're sort of growing year on year. Obviously, if your sales are coming off, we need to come up with a reason why that's happening. Yeah. And if they're going up, it gives them the confidence that they can, that the future profitability is fairly assured.
Great. Well, thanks again, Steve. We'll wrap it up there. So anyone looking to sell a trade services business, you're quite happy just to have a chat. If they can get in contact with you off our website, off morganbusinesssales.com. certainly you can chat to them about a potential value and see where they want to go from there.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks very much, Steve. A pleasure having you on.
No worries, Drew. Thanks.
Cheers, mate.
See you.